Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of Daily Stock, we are going to look at the fundamental and the technical aspects of the developments in Procter and Gamble. This FMCG company, the company which deals in the fast-moving consumer goods, which offer the products which we use in day-to-day life to take care of ourselves and family. And since it is a FMCG company, its user base is humongous. The company is present in most of the countries around the world, and most of us, those who are watching this webinar, are also likely to be one of the customers of these companies' products are widely used, and as a result of that, most of us take the products offered by the company, and we in a way contribute to the well-being of the company. And for this year, the outlook has been quite good. The sales have risen. The stock is also doing decently well. There is a slow moving counter. It doesn't really move much. The volatility is quite less. And since there is a well established FMCG player, we are not likely to see much fluctuations. But after having seen it raise its operating margin for last couple of quarters, I think there is a probability of further upside in the Procter and Gamble share price. So we are going to look at the fundamental as well as technical scenario developing for the Procter and Gamble, and see what are the opportunities for us which we can exploit for gaining upper age, gaining age in the market, and profiting from that. So we are going to first consider the quarterly statement of first quarter 2024, in which the sales have grown by 6 percentage point for the Procter and Gamble, which has contributed to the rise of 17% in the EPS, that is net earnings for the company. The company has performed quite well in most of the segments in which it is present. We are going to take a look on the segmental results as well. And if we consider the main categories, main segments in which the company is present, you will notice that in most of these segments, the growth has been quite robust, growth has been quite sound, and this is likely to make it a lot more sustainable as there is a diversified company, and its presence in our day-to-day life is quite immersive. We are its avid users, and starting from the toothbrush to the fabric, all these products the company provides for us, and as its presence in most of the countries around the world suggests, the people quite love its product, and that has provided it longevity as well as increased operating margin. So now let us take a look at the highlights of this quarter's earnings. We straight away head to the consolidated income statement for the last quarter. So this is the consolidated earnings information for the 3 months ended September 30th. in which you can see that the net sales have grown 6 percentage point year on year, with now the first quarter earnings standing at $21.87 billion from 20.61 billion a year back. The gross profit is quite robust, and if we consider the gross profit has also grown 16 percentage point, and this is mainly because the company has been able to cut the cost of the product sold, and that has enhanced the operating margin for the company. After deducting selling general and administrative income expenses, we arrive at operating income, and here the margin is quite good for the company, and after adjusting interest and taxes, we get the net earnings, which have risen to 4.52 billion US dollars from 3.939 US dollars billion US dollars. So that's the increase of 15 percentage point in the net earnings for the shareholders of Procter and Gamble. Now, if we consider the segmental information, you can see that there is a broad-based growth story, as most of the segments in which the company is present have recorded growth, and that is going to make this growth sustainable, as there is a broad-based growth, and the most of the segments are offering the company the opportunity to continue to do well, and that is remarkable. If we see that all these segments have grown with varying degrees, from 3% growth in beauty segments to 11% growth in healthcare, and its major segment is fabric and home care, where it has enjoyed fabulous 8% growth year on year. There is the statement of cash flow, and let us look at the company's cash position. The company's net cash position has grown positively, with the net cash addition of 1.487 billion, which has now put the company's cash reserve at US dollar 9.73 billion, which is almost 50% growth from a year back, as the company has been able to generate cash flows consistently for last couple of quarters. There has been this rise in the free cash available, that is cash and cash equivalents available for the company to work with. There is the condensed consolidated balance sheet. We will not dwell much on it. We go back to the highlights of the earnings, and as we saw its earning report, there has been quite impressive growth in the business of the Procter and Gamble. But if we look at the forward guidance for the second quarter of this year, the company is expecting moderation in the growth, and it is not too much optimistic, even though it has done well for last couple of quarters. Still, the company's management has adopted a conservative approach, and the company is expecting the revenue growth to be in the single digits, and same expectations are also for the net income. So we here have this guidance with the EPS for the fiscal year expected to be in the range of US dollar 6.25 to US dollar 6.47. Alright, now we head to the JForex core to see what's the story on the technical side. For last couple of months, the company has seen its share price move in a narrow range of around 10 percentage point. Now, 10 percentage point is not exactly narrow, but since we are quite used to seeing the share price moves quite volatility with quite volatility, this is also remarkable. This is a rather stable business. Its business is such that it doesn't really see sharp moves on either side, and a lot more stability is visible in the share price trajectory for last couple of months. This time around also, after having found support closer to 142 levels, there is this increase, and there is almost 10 percentage point growth from the lower levels, but I feel we are not really likely to see sharp one side movement for the Procter and Gamble share price from the current level. Rather than that, it is likely to continue to do what it has been doing so far, which is to consolidate with bullish bias. So here we can adopt a buy on dip strategy as and when we see the Procter and Gamble share price trading low after having seen prolonged consolidation. We can indeed take our chances, and we can expect that in the course of time, the Procter and Gamble share price will cross and hold closer to the levels of US dollar 160, and for that the goalpost is not really far off, but given the nature of the share price, I feel that it is going to take time, and in the meantime, if you have short-term strategy, you can also adopt a scalping strategy where you can go for buy on dips as well. Now let us look at all the three key time horizons to see if there are opportunities for us. This is the lower time frame charting, and in it you can notice that for last couple of weeks the momentum has been bullish. It has gained in the valuation from around 140 level to cross and hold above 153, sorry, 150. And even at the current juncture, I think the best course of action is to keep looking for buying opportunity in the Procter and Gamble share price. We have seen it making the formation of higher highs and higher lows. Same is expected this time around as well, unless there is any sharp move on the lower side with a clear cut breakout on the bearish side. We can't really rely much on a fresh breakout. Rather than that, we can simply try to exploit the range which is well established at the current juncture. So, from the short term perspective, the best thing to do is to keep looking for opportunities to go long, and buy on dips seems like a good opportunity, good strategy to work with in the Procter and Gamble share price, since it is doing well. Fundamentally, the business is growing, the company has increased its margin, the efficiency is there in the operation, and that has enhanced its operating margin as well. And in such environment, we can expect the shares to rise, its valuation to rise, and that is what we are counting on, and try to profit from these expected move on the higher side with a buy on dips approach for short term gains. Watch out for the price levels of around 150, and if there is not much of an move on the lower side, and for a session or two, if things stabilize and hold above 150, I think we can indeed take our chances, and in course of time we are likely to see the Procter and Gamble share price cross above these immediate swing high of around US dollar 153.5. And from longer term horizon, we will have to enhance the candle period, and on the candle period of daily, you can see that for last couple of quarters the range has been narrow of around 10 percentage point. This time around also I am not really expecting any sharp move on either side, and the best thing to do at the current juncture is also to go with the flow and keep looking for the opportunity to buy. But since at the current level, the Procter and Gamble is not closer to the highs or the lows, it is not closer to the support or the resistance, and in such environment I feel that we will have to trade patiently here. And if there is a fresh correction, and in course of time if things stabilize closer to the US dollar 140 level, we can indeed take our chances and try to go for newer opportunities with decent risk reward ratio. For longer time horizon, the same holds true. Here also buy on dips remains the best bet for next couple of days, next couple of months, and next couple of weeks as well. So try to look for favorable risk reward ratio, and if the risk reward ratio is good, more than 1 is to 2, we can indeed take our chances, and the prior swing high which was established way back in 2021 can also be expected to be tested again, as things have stabilized for the Procter and Gamble on the higher side after having seen these sharp move on the lower side in October of 2022. This time around, there has been remarkable recovery, and that is because on the business side, the business is growing. We have already seen that the net revenues have gone up, the operating margin has also improved, and this is generating a positive momentum for the valuations of the shares of Procter and Gamble. And all we have to do is try to minimize our losses in the scenario of we being on the wrong side of the story. So for next couple of weeks, next couple of months, if you are trading, investing from the longer term horizon, then see the price range of around 140 to be crucial. And from the current levels, we are going to need some correction and then consolidation. And if it holds and consolidates closer to the prior swing low, I think we can then go for the long trade with the expectation of the move towards this prior swing high of around 165 in coming months, if not in coming weeks. So that's my assessment looking at the current juncture of the fundamental as well as technical side of the Procter and Gamble, in which the company seems to be doing well. It is also on the verge of experiencing a fresh breakout on the higher side. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. See you next time around with a equally interesting stock to work with. Do come back tomorrow. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye.